Hey, what is going on, fight fans? It's Tuesday. It's 10 p.m. It's Paul Spencer with my man Joey Woods. It's Fight Club 215. Joey, how you feeling, man? Last week we were off. We were both under the weather, man. Hopefully, I'm feeling a little bit better. Hope you're a little bit better as well. How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I think kind of a sickness swept over the entire America because I feel like everyone I talked to was sick, or their kid was sick, or their brother, someone was sick. Someone was sick. I think it was
Hmm.
just kind of sweeping the nation last week. So everyone's kind of recuperating, getting a little better. Right now, Philadelphia fans got the sports sickness. Calling out of work and stuff with all these
Uh, mm.
Phillies and Eagles doing good. Even the Flyers are shocking people a little bit. But top of
Listen,
the
man.
world here in Philly,
Listen,
Paul. Top of the world.
I'm not sick. I just lost a bet, Joey. So I have to rock this red, and blue Phillies crap until the World Series is over. So, man of my word, shout out to my cousin Jeremy. You won. You got me. I have to wear it for, go
Before we get
Phillies.
into our topic, Paul, before we get into our topics next week, you have to admit, even though you're a Braves fan, you have to admit, at this stage and this point, who we're facing, the Phillies have become America's team at this point. You got the cheating Astros versus the underdog Phillies. At this point in time, unless you're from Houston, the Phillies are America's team.
No, I agree with that, Joey. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm a Braves fan through and through. You know that, but baseball is not my biggest sport, of course. I rock a lot of hats out there, but it's just to me, the Phillies right now are America's team because everybody's behind them 100%. You fire Girardi in the mid, not even halfway through the season, and then you get Thompson out there, and then they're a wild card, Joey. They're a sixth seed, and they're
Last year, they wouldn't even been in the playoffs.
exactly. That's what I mean. I mean, you get hot at the right time, and if you watch any other shows I do, of course, Joe, you as well. I always said if the Phillies get into postseason, they're going to be the scariest team out there in the postseason because once they figure it out in the postseason, the bats get hot, and the pitching's good, the bullpen's okay, and the defense is great, and you have one man named Bryce Harper out there. My
Yeah,
God,
for
what I
sure.
mean? It's
Yeah,
going to
I
be
mean,
crazy
he
out there.
told the team
Mhm.
that eighth thing told the team there was a report going on that he told everyone in the dugout, "Get me up and we'll win this game." That's literally
Yeah,
what he
yeah,
said. Get me
yeah,
up. But like you said, we're not gonna talk too much more about this. But with those two arms in the top of that rotation,
yeah.
Wheeler and Nola, and then you got Alvarado and Dominguez in the bullpen closing out the game. With the way these bats are going right now, the Astros on paper are by far the superior team, top to bottom. They're more complete team. They have the more complete bullpen. They have the more complete bench. But with the way this Phillies
Yeah,
team is hitting and the way these bats are swinging, I like their chances against anyone.
I do too. I
I
mean,
watched. I saw a CBS report today, Paul. They had six reporters pick the game. Four out of six picked the Phillies. I was shocked.
I tell you, Joey, like as soon as even when they played my Braves, Joey, I put $100 on the Phillies to win the World Series because there's something about this team this year that I just thought is like, I mean, I did it with the Nationals, years back when they barely made the wild card and they won the World Series. I put a big, a $500 bet, me and my buddy, $500 each, and we cashed out. And I got that same feeling with the Phillies right now, Joey. I really do. You know,
Yeah, National League definitely.
Mhm.
I think the National League across the board from top to bottom
Yeah,
was definitely the better division this year, which I think helps the Phillies a little bit. I think they had a little bit harder of a test
yeah. I mean, you
to
had
get to this
200,
point. They're
100 win
more,
teams. You had 200
yeah,
win
they're more
teams in there,
battle
and
tested.
you didn't finish far behind third place. You know what I mean? But real quick, Joey, before we get into this, anybody watching on Facebook, we are having issues out there. That's not just our show; that's every show out there right now. There's
Yeah,
something wrong
StreamYard
with
sent
Facebook.
out a warning
Yeah,
before we
we
went
got
live today. StreamYard
exactly.
sent out a little report.
Yep, and I was
That's
watching my buddy's show, and it's the same thing with his. It'll show the picture, but it just like buffers the entire thing. So,
I'm gonna check it
um,
out right now, Paul. Actually,
okay, but
I'm
we
gonna
got
see if it's
Sully
doing
Squad
good.
checking out. There's Joe Sullivan checking out. You can check him out tomorrow night at College Football Frenzy and Sully Squad every Monday at 6 p.m. on Devereaux Sports. And of course, you got Linda Duarte, one of our biggest fans. Linda, how you doing? I'm glad you're checking in here. This Phillies shit is fucking me up, Joey. I can't wear this shit. I'm losing my thoughts here, Joey. And of course, you got Linda
It's good.
Duarte, one of our biggest fans. Is it about?
It's good. It's up.
Okay,
It's up
cool.
and
All right,
good.
cool, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, we appreciate everybody checking in. YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you want to check us out. Out of the boxes everywhere. So, hey, Joey, let's get into this, man. Let's get to what we talked about here. This is Fight Club 215 UFC 280 recap, man. My God, Joey, where do you want to start? I mean, you want to start with the hometown boy?
Let's do it. Kind of
Uh,
the one Philly team that didn't come through
yeah,
this weekend,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
we
went 7 out of 7, but the 7 out of 7 didn't happen. I took Brady, he lost. Muhammad, clearly won the fight, but what did you see from Brady?
uh, I mean, we knew Brady's striking was definitely not on par with his grappling. That we
Mhm,
all knew that. But going into it, everyone thought Brady might have been on par or maybe a little above Muhammad with his striking. I
mhm.
mean, hell, there was a stat that was put out before this fight that Muhammad was second in the entire UFC for significant strikes
Yeah,
landed
yeah,
ever
I seen
without
it.
a knockdown. Just
Mhm,
shows you he didn't have that true knockout power. But
exactly.
what Muhammad did this fight that was a little different than what he normally does was he put the pressure on. He was the one that was pretty
Yes.
much walking Brady down the entire fight, which
Mhm,
to me didn't make much sense because Brady every chance he got was kind of level changing. He was kind of trying to make Muhammad think that these takedowns were going to happen, and we
mhm,
knew Bilal had great takedown defense. Brady was going to have to mix up his striking to sink in that takedown at the perfect time.
mhm.
Um, but it's hard to sink in that takedown. It's hard to keep your opponent guessing when you're allowing your opponent to back you down and you're
Right.
allowing your opponent to put you on your back foot. Brady needs to put Bilal on his back foot and allow his striking to get that takedown, and that just didn't happen. I was a little shocked. Brady was definitely out on his feet there for a second, but
Mhm.
there's 10 seconds left in the round. At that point, I think unless you're getting knocked out cold, the ref heard the bell go, the knock of the bell go. At that point, the ref needs to let this fight
Yeah,
get to the corners. And at that point, if Brady can't get out off the stool at that point, then Brady loses that fight there. But I think you needed to let Brady get the chance to get back to his corner and get that round, next third round.
I agree. Well, Joey, I mean, speaking of that, I mean, do you think Brady was he just seems like a ghost where he's seen, he knows what Muhammad's about. He knows what he's going to do. But do you think, since just like he changed up, do you think that caught Brady off guard, where he just like seen a ghost and he was just like, what do I do now? You think he was thrown off a little bit? What do you think?
I don't think he was thrown off. I think the game plan was definitely probably different than what Brady was training for. But
Hmm.
here's the thing. Brady's 16-0. This is his
Yeah.
first loss. But Bilal was, I think, top six at this point, top five. It was a
Hmm.
huge step up in competition for Brady.
It
Brady
was.
is a hell of a fighter. Brady is going to be at the top or near the top of the UFC for years to come.
Mhm.
He's what the one thing that they say in the fight game is that first loss truly shows you what you're made of. It
Right.
shows you that you either have that drive and passion to go back into the gym and fix what hurt you this fight and work on what your weaknesses were, or you kind of become a shell of yourself, and you kind
Hmm.
of never recuperate that magic. I seeing what I know of Brady and stuff. I think this is gonna light the fire under him better than ever. um Brady's an animal. Don't let's not get this twisted. If he got that fight to the ground, there's no doubt in my
Yeah.
mind that he was gonna get the finish. It's just Bilal is a very, very good uh wrestling takedown defense. It's
Hmm.
he's has good defense. So I was a little shocked with this outcome. I thought this was going to be a very close fight. But I
Hmm.
did think that Brady would get the win. I don't know if it's Philly bias that led me to believe this, but I mean, I watched all the fighters picking these fights. A lot, most of them were favoring Brady. I mean, hell, even
Hmm.
Vegas, who's usually rarely ever wrong, was
Yeah.
favoring Brady.
I mean,
Um,
I took Brady. I really did. I mean, with 16-0, you're 16-0 for a reason, Joey.
yeah,
We've seen what he's doing, so
regardless who you
it's
fight,
not a fluke.
regardless of
It's
who
not a
you
fluke.
fight. I'm
Right.
tired of hearing this when people say like Khabib and Islam and stuff like that. Like, oh, they didn't fight anyone. Doesn't matter. In the MMA game, it takes one slip, it takes
Yeah.
one wrong punch, and it's over. It's over. And
It's like anything can happen, Joey. Ask Usman. You know what I mean? Ask him.
exactly. Look at
You,
Usman
you,
controlling that fight.
you're looking at 24 minutes and 36 seconds of nonstop domination, and the last 24 seconds, one kick the kick heard around the world won you the damn title. You know what I mean? It
Look
can
at
go from
Dillashaw.
anything.
Look at TJ.
Exactly.
Separated shoulder. First second of
Exactly.
the fight.
Hmm.
Anything can happen. So it don't matter if you're fighting trash cans or not. If
Yeah.
16-0 is impressive, regardless of who you fight. So let's
Hmm.
stop with that motion there.
I
But
agree.
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be better than ever, but
I
a little
wouldn't. Yeah, I
disappointing to
definitely
start
think
the
so.
card.
I mean, yeah, just like you said, Joey, before, there's that's Stacy Northrup checking in. You can check her out every Friday night with Evan and Dan, Big Blue Power Hours. What's going on, Stacy? Thank you for checking in, hon. Thank you. Um, Back to what you said, like, with these fighters, okay, yeah, he hasn't fought anybody. He hasn't fought this. His card's underrated. Well, dude, you know what? Islam, look at him. Yeah, okay, his names that he fought weren't the biggest showcase names out there. But what the hell happened on Saturday night, Joey? Oliveira. Everybody think he can't be beaten. What did Islam do? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
listen, anything can happen, Joey. Anything can happen.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, where does Brady go from here? What do you think he does next, Joey? Who do you think he's going to eye now? And what about Muhammad as well?
Well, I didn't check. I want to actually, while we're on this right here, I want to see because the new rankings came out today, and we'll talk
Mhm.
about a huge jump that happened in the
Yeah.
rankings
Yeah. I think I
with,
know where you're going.
on our next fight, which is complete
Definitely.
utter
Yeah.
bullshit.
How he jumps the number. Yeah. How did he jump that high? Woo.
So Brady didn't actually drop down. He stayed at 8.
Did he? Okay. Okay.
So I would love to see Brady fight the guy right above him, Wonder Boy Thompson. I think that
Mm.
is the perfect fight for him.
Wow.
Thompson is
Okay.
great stand up.
Okay. Hmm.
He's got some good, not great, but good takedown defense.
Hmm.
One of the better ones in the division. It'd be interesting to see the great grappler versus the great striker and who would win. I think that's kind of where he has to stay right there. Um, I wouldn't mind seeing him fight 9 Lequente. I've hard pronouncing these Brazilian names, but
Hmm.
Vincente or I would mind seeing him fight him, but
Hmm.
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see, but it's a huge plus for Brady seeing that he lost that way and he got to keep his number 8 ranking.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of weird. I mean, how he stayed the same, but I mean, I'm not going to knock him. He listen, 16-1, man. You can't. That's not BS. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He'll be
exactly.
fine. He'll be fine. He'll be good. He's gonna just like you said. He's a hungry dog. He's Philly proud, man. He's gonna take that, and you know what? It's all over for your next victim. That's all I'm gonna say. You know.
Yeah, for sure. We got
Uh, there's,
Rob checking in.
yep, there's Rob Hefner checking in. Vegas Rob out there. You can check him out every Saturday at 8 p.m. Vegas Sports Scene with him and with Ken Fry talking to all Raiders, Knights, anything going on in Vegas. They'll keep you covered out there. So man, listen. I
Talk
mean,
about the robbery next. The robbery.
do you want to talk about that robbery?
Let's talk about it.
I mean, I got 911 on speed call after this fight, Joey. I really do. Yeah, I mean, it's
This I'm just
where
confused
do you
with
want to
this
start,
fight.
Joey? Where do you want to start? I mean, all I can say was this, you
Let's
know,
start with the takedowns.
yeah, exactly,
Six
exactly.
to nothing.
Yeah,
6 to
yeah,
nothing.
Joey, how many fights have we watched in the UFC where it's all ground control, takedown, get you the win, get you the
Now don't
card,
get me wrong.
and
Don't get
what
me
the hell
wrong.
happened?
Jan didn't control. I mean, he controlled. I think half the fight total.
Right.
Um, Jan controlled ground control. I'm looking up right now to see what his ground control is. I think it was like 6 minutes,
Hmm.
which is almost a whole round. It's more than a whole round.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like this.
What, Joey? What was that fight about 3 months ago? The women's fight, Joey, where one was it Loma? What was that fight, Joey? Shabanko. Who was that
Oh,
fight? Where one takedown,
Rose
yes, where
versus
one
yeah,
takedown won you the
Garza.
fight, Joey. One takedown won you the fight. What
Yeah,
the hell? Like I don't get these judges. I really don't. You know.
I'm trying to pull up the
And
ground
while you're doing that,
control.
there's Mike Laura. You can check him out. He'll be on Thursday night for a locker room podcast. Checking in on YouTube and Facebook. What's going on, Mike? Thank you for tuning in, brother. Appreciate you.
In a 15-minute fight, Paul, Jan controlled 5 minutes and 44 seconds of the
It's an
fight.
entire
Meaning
round. It's an entire round.
he had uh O'Malley on his back for 5 minutes and 44 seconds of the total fight. Total
Yeah.
strikes landed, right? 97-91. Now,
Mm.
O'Malley had more significant strikes, 84 to 58, but 5 full minutes of ground
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think O'Malley thought he won. There were videos of Khabib watching the results saying, like, how did that just happen? I just think everyone's kind of left their head scratching like what happened here. And then
Yeah.
to make matters worse, at this time when this fight happened, O'Malley was 8 in the world. It's
Yeah.
you don't just beat the guy and then take his ranking. It's not how this works in the UFC. There's a ladder for a
Oh,
reason. He went from 8 to 1.
I
I
know.
just don't get it. When you got Vera, who Chico, who beat him, who knocked him out, and he
Yeah.
jumps. O'Malley jumps him. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Just makes no sense to me. The UFC at this point, I think, is they're running dry on their cash cows. Connor still hasn't re-entered the
Hmm.
athletic commission pool.
Right.
Um, Jones may be coming back December 10th. We don't know. Uh, who else really at this point in time is
Hmm.
their cash cow? I
Right.
think they see O'Malley, and I'm not talking about the scorecard. The scorecard was bullshit, but the UFC has no control over that. The UFC doesn't control the scorecard. So I'm talking strictly about the rankings here. I just
Hmm.
think the UFC sees dollar signs when they look at O'Malley, and they're
I agree.
gonna put him in there as long as possible. Don't get me wrong, O'Malley is very talented. He
Hmm.
has a legitimate shot against Sterling if he can keep it on the feet. And I think he could keep it on the feet because he is very long and lanky,
Right.
and I
Right.
think I think he could keep Aljo at a distance and maybe pick him apart. I don't know in a 5-round fight.
I think Sterling has too much speed, Joey. I mean, it's too much speed. I mean, he showed what his
I
speed's
just don't
about.
know if Sterling is going to be able to get in on O'Malley because O'Malley. You always see these fighters who are so long and they don't ever use it, and it
Yeah.
drives
Yeah.
me insane. O'Malley did a great job in this fight of jabbing Jan to death and keeping him at the distance, not letting him get in, not letting him,
Hmm.
because Jan likes to keep it kind of dirty box, get right in your face
Exactly.
and
Right. Right.
throw everything from a phone booth,
Hmm.
and O'Malley did a great job of keeping Jan back. He just at one point in the fight, I think he hit him with like 5 in a row, like real fast, like just kept pushing him back. Don't get me wrong, O'Malley fought great, but I don't think he did enough to win. That's just my
I
personal
no,
opinion.
I totally agree. I mean, I took the underdog. I took O'Malley on one card, but I didn't think I was going to win that. And watching that fight, I'm like, holy shit, are you serious? Like listening to the
Yeah,
judges' cards, Joey. We always say don't leave in the judge's decision. Don't leave it out there like that. But you never know, Joey. I mean, we've seen some crazy ass fights in the past where
yeah,
it's like a 115, 112, 115, 112. And then the other dude on the other card has it, vice versa. 116, 113. Like what the hell are you even watching out
yeah.
there?
I mean,
You know?
even Dana White said they scored the fight.
Yeah, he did.
I mean,
Yeah.
Dana White, who was on record saying this fight is going to be the next in line for championship fight.
Mhm.
He's very highly on O'Malley. It's kind of not hard to see. He thinks O'Malley's their next cash cow.
Mhm.
Even he says it was a razor thin close fight. I could see people saying Jan won the fight. I could see people saying O'Malley won the fight.
Right.
What's weird is it wasn't the way I thought it was with the judges' scorecard. He said I don't depending on who you gave the first round to determines who won that fight. And everything
Mhm.
I saw, I mean, I watched back the fight. What someone on YouTube did a great job of removing all the bullshit from the fight,
Okay.
right? They just left in there all the significant strikes, all the takedowns, everything like that. So
Mhm.
the first round, outside of that takedown, there wasn't much of anything that happened. And we always say that if you get a takedown, you control it for a couple
Right.
seconds,
Right.
that wins you the round in a close fight. So how people are not giving that round to Jan just blows my mind. But
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, there's been fights that was just like we talked about, the fight, Joey, where one takedown can win you the fight if there's no significant strikes, no knockdowns, no submission or whatever. But
yeah,
it's just like I don't get it. Like what the hell they were watching. But I agree with you one thing, Joey, about Sean O'Malley being he's not number one. Just like he said, he flip flop. He jumped Jan.
yeah.
Jan is below him now. But it's markable, Joey. It's markable. Who else is markable in that division other than Sean Malley and Sterling? I mean, you think about it. You have, Vera, Dillashaw, Sanhagen, Devashilla. But like
Yeah,
his
but
name is
Vera, here's the
markable.
thing. Here's the thing. Yeah, O'Malley hurt his leg or his ankle in that fight with Vera, but it
Hmm.
was because of a kick that Vera hit on him that injured that leg. It wasn't like
Right, right.
he just randomly got hurt, and that was it.
Mm,
I I would love to see, and there's rumors of this happening, and if it happens, it happens. We'll talk about it next, but
mm,
I think O'Malley's getting jumped here for a title shot, and we'll talk about what's going on there.
mm.
But if that's the case and O'Malley's getting jumped for a title shot, I think you got to do Vera O'Malley too to settle the score. Because since that
Mm.
fight, Vera lost. I believe Vera lost to Aldo since they last fought.
Okay. I got his last three fights. Vera, Dominic Cruz, Font, and Edgar.
Yeah, so he
Two
he
KOs
beat
and a decision.
O'Malley,
Hmm.
and then he lost to Aldo
Okay.
in a close decision, and then he beat Grant, Edgar, Font, and Cruz, which is impressive victories.
Yeah.
Talk
Yeah.
about Cruz, who was on top of the division for years. Font, who before this weekend was a number 6 fighter in the world,
Hmm.
and the other guy wasn't too highly ranked, but a win is still a win in the UFC. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just think it's hard to when you're in the ranking like that, it's hard for you just to jump one guy that you lost to
I agree. I mean,
without
this is
him
this.
having a significant
Now,
loss.
where was O'Malley before this fight, Joey? What rank was he
So he
before this
jumped
fight?
10 places. He was 11th.
Holy crap! There's no way, man. No way. I mean, you know what? I can understand. No, no. Still. I mean, even on a controversial win, you know what I mean? On a
Yeah.
controversial win, you jump up 10 spots and take the number one ranking, and you're in a clear shot with Sterling. There's no
Yeah.
way. No way. Man, that's. I don't get it. I don't get that, Joey.
Let's get on to our next fight was who's pissed off a little bit of fans also. This fight, I don't know about you, Paul, but I felt a little robbed with this fight.
I
Um,
agree. I'll let you start. I agree. I
not
agree.
for the fight itself, what happened.
Hmm.
Injuries obviously happen. We all thought, oh man, he popped his shoulder out when he went to go press down. That shoulder kind of popped out, and we said, okay, that injury happened right there, and we
But
were
it
all
didn't.
okay
But it
with it.
didn't.
We
But
were
it
no,
didn't.
but we were okay with it watching the fight. It was
Right.
like injuries happen in the UFC. Injuries happen in blink of an eye, so we were okay with it. And then come to find out that this injury, the shoulder popping out, was happening before the fight even happened. I saw today Cub Swanson actually said this was happening as far as 2 weeks before the fight. He
Yes.
was having this issue up to 2 weeks before the fight. That's enough time to replace. So what should have happened
100%.
here was he should have told the UFC this was
Hmm.
happening. He's put on the shelf until he gets his shoulder fixed. He's next in line once he's ready.
Hmm.
Jan should have gotten a rematch against Sterling. It should have been
Yeah.
Jan Sterling. Then they find a replacement for O'Malley to fill in. 2 weeks
Hmm.
out, someone would salivate to get O'Malley on that card in Dubai. Like that, they would have jumped at that, and they would have
I agree.
had no problem filling that spot.
I agree, Joey. Like I said in the group chat, and I said I was watching it after the whole thing, where he even told DC, he was like, "This has been happening through training camp."
He said,
My
"This is what I
shoulder.
wanted to tell you."
Yeah, and he was like, he even said he was like he before the fight, he went up to the ref, Joey, and said, "Be aware of my shoulder
Yeah, if
popping."
it happens.
Come on, dude. I do feel cheated. I mean,
But why did the ref?
I do.
So at that point in time, he said that he told the ref in the back.
He
So he
did.
said, "This
He
is what I
did.
told
He
you
said,
in the
"Be." He said,
back."
"Be." He said, "Be aware of my shoulder popping during the match."
So why didn't the ref at that point, before they made their walkouts, tell the athletic commission, "Hey, this dude's telling me is like that feels like it's a drop of the ball by the ref too a little bit."
I agree 100%. I mean, it goes both ways. But if I'm a ref, Joey, and this who was the ref that fight? I don't know. I forgot who it was, but they're all seasoned refs, Joey. You know what I mean? They know, about the fighters, about the injuries, about the athletic commission. You know, that gets me thinking. I really didn't think about it during the fight, but why didn't the ref go up to the athletic commissioner and say, he has no problem, Joey, when you get hit in the eye, you're bleeding out of the eye. He has no problem calling the athletic,
Yeah.
guy over, say, check his eye real quick. But pre-fight, this has been happening for what, 3 or 4 weeks before the fight?
Yeah,
My shoulder's gonna
at
pop.
least
Come
2
on.
weeks out, they were saying at least 2 weeks out the news was happening. So who knows how long before it actually
But
was happening.
but you remember what Dillashaw said, Joey, after the fight? He was like, they talked about the shoulder, and he said, "Well, yeah, I'm going to give it 100% because who knows when I'll get another title shot." What do you think about his comment right there, Joey? Because there's other people more deserving. If you sufficiently you can't fight because of an injury,
Yeah, but
I
here's the thing.
understand that. I understand that.
I think that hurts his chances going forward. Also, like I feel like Dana White's on record claiming, I don't know how much I believe in this of, but Dana White's on record claiming that he had absolutely no idea that TJ's shoulder was messed up. And he said, "This is something you had to tell us. Like, this is one of our biggest cards of the year. You had to let us know this so we can get a replacement because that fight should never happen." That's what Dana White's on record saying.
Mhm.
TJ Dillashaw isn't one to keep his mouth shut. So that's the reason why I maybe believe Dana a little bit, is because if Dana was lying, TJ would have no problem coming out and be like, "No, bro, I told you. You told me to
Right.
keep it secret." So I think Dana isn't bullshit when it comes to that. But at the same time, um, I think at this point going forward, looking at TJ's track back to the championship is going to be a lot harder. Had he spoken up, it probably been a lot easier. But because he hit it and then put on that stink fest because of it, I think the UFC might be a little bit reluctant to give him a title shot going forward.
I agree. I mean, I just didn't like the comment. I mean, Joey, like, look, you play to win the fight. You have to do what you can. But honestly, what was his thought going into this fight? My shoulder's going to pop. It's been happening. Even in practice, whenever we're sparring, it's going to pop. And you had a title shot, but you told the ref, be aware my shoulder could pop at any time. How many times did it pop, Joey? 3 times.
Yeah, I mean they
3 times.
massaged the back of the place in between rounds.
Like 3 times, Joe. The first one, I didn't know, and just like you said, I didn't know like of the pre-injuries. I didn't know that. So during that fight, when you see that little bump on his shoulder right there, you see it like, oh shit, his shoulder. That could be a clavicle. It could be, whatever the hell it was, and you're thinking like, oh my god, there's no way. Then after that round where the trainer's in there, the cut man's out there, he pops it back in. You're thinking like, okay, this is a warrior. He's going back in to do his thing. But then you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, I mean
You don't know.
before the fight you didn't know, but then remember they kind of hinted at it during
Yeah,
the match. I think it was maybe Anik said to DC,
Cormier. Mhm.
maybe this is what he was hinting at to you when you were in the back with him. Maybe this is what he was
Yeah.
hinting at with you. And Cormier was like, it's possible, like like this is what happened. And come to find out when DC pressed him on it after the fight,
Hmm.
uh Dillashaw admitted that this is exactly what happened.
I agree. I mean, I do feel cheated in a way. Like I wanted. There could have been better options for a fill-in, just like you said. You know,
Yeah.
it could have been switched at the last second. What was the fight to?
And we just seen it 2 pay-per-views ago with the
Exactly. That's what.
Diaz and
Exactly. Uh, what the hell's his name?
Shimaiva.
Jemima. Exactly. Like you give a fair warning, everything can be changed within 24 hours. That's why they should have somebody on standby no matter what. Hey, listen,
Every title fight I think should have a
they should.
standby fighter. They did it
They
with the main
should.
event with Volkanovski
Exactly.
for the Islam and Oliveira fight. They should have had it
Mhm.
for this fight too.
I agree. I mean, I think every fight is a title fight, a title contender fight should have an alternative out there just for, any reasons, they're on standby and that's the way it should be. It definitely should because, here and after the fight, like I wasn't, my shoulder was popping, this and that and everything. I felt cheated in a way because you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe I could have got a
Luckily I
better
went to
fight.
Buffalo Wild Wings, Paul. Luckily I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, so I didn't pay for the fight. But in all seriousness, like if I paid $70 for that fight and the co-main event comes out, tells me his shoulder was popping for 2 weeks before, like that's bullshit. I know cards
Hmm.
subject to change and stuff like that, but it would make me reluctant to buy another pay-per-views for the simple fact of like, what did
Yeah,
the UFC? Oh, it'll never come out if they knew about it and just hit it. But
right.
how much do they truly know and how much was truly hidden before the fight? Because like think about it, this Paul, going back to that Shimaiva fight, the UFC was the one that instructed him to stop cutting weight the
Right,
night
right.
before.
Hmm.
We didn't find out about that until the day of when they did the weigh-ins that he didn't make
Exactly.
weight. They
Exactly.
knew about it. They had people traveling to the event still to go watch this fight. People were still
Hmm.
buying tickets. People were still buying the pay-per-view. And you knew that he was going to make weight a day before the fight and hid it from everyone. It
Yeah.
makes you really believe what they knew and what they didn't know. And it pisses me off a little bit.
It does. I mean, you're right. If I'm paying $70 for a damn fight like that, and the co-main event, and it's I don't want to say a bogus thing, but it's like a scratch fight to me. It's a handicap match right now. You got the 2-on-1 fight right now because his shoulder's going to pop. Is it pre-related? We didn't know that until after the first round when Anik
Yeah.
said to DC like, "Hey, maybe this is what he was hitting at." You're right. But it goes two ways. The ref already knew about it. Why didn't he go to the athletic commissioner, number one? And if he told DC that, pre-fight, why, if that was it, I know DC is a man, he's legit. I would have came out as an announcer saying, "Man, I just talked to Dillashaw on the back."
Well, I don't think he actually told. I don't think he actually told Dillashaw. I mean, I don't think Dillashaw actually told DC. I think
Okay.
Dillashaw just kind of hinted that he had some nagging injuries leading up to the fight.
Oh man.
And then that's when DC afterwards asked him, "Is this what you were speaking of when you pulled me aside in the back?"
Okay, all right. But I mean, where do they go from here now, Joey? Where do they go? Where's Dillashaw? Sterling, of course, is the champ. He showed what he's made of.
We're getting the fight that everyone wanted. We're getting the fight that I've been begging for. We're getting the cringeworthy Henry Cejudo, who puts up horrible tweets that aren't funny and horrible
But Joey,
videos
real
that
quick,
aren't
I know you're
funny.
talking about Henry now. A lot of people say he's boring as hell, Joey. He's overrated, Joey. What do you have to say about that? Because listen, man.
I mean, first of all, he's an Olympic gold medalist. Let me know how many other UFC fighters can say they won an Olympic gold medal. Second of all, he was a double champ. He
Right.
beat the legit GOAT of the division, Demetrius Johnson. He beat him.
Yeah.
He like that's like point blank. He beat Demetrius Johnson. He beat TJ Dillashaw when he was on top. He beat Dominic Cruz when he was on top. Like let's not get it twisted. And this is why I crack to people like, oh, he's a boring fighter. He lays on people. Last time I checked, this is called MMA, mixed martial arts.
Exactly.
It's not boxing. It's not kickboxing. It's not just on the feet. It's all aspects of the sport. Wrestling is included. So if Henry Cejudo, who is an Olympic gold medalist wrestler, wants to use wrestling to win a fight in mixed martial arts, and you think it's boring, I don't think he really cares. All that he cares is that W's next to his name, and he keeps moving forward. It's not about style points in the UFC or MMA. It's about getting the W by any means necessary. So if you think wrestling is boring, tell the other fighter to train for wrestling and stop the takedown. How about that? Rather than calling Cejudo boring.
Exactly. I mean, a lot of people, we always use that word chameleon, Joey. Learn, game plan of your next fighter here.
Yeah, but hold on one thing. Let me cut you off real fast, Paul. Because I just popped in my head just now. He's so boring, but his last 3 wins before he retired were all TKO wins.
Exactly.
Nothing screams boring like knocking people out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if he's not your cup of tea where he lays on you, he pounds you on the ground, he wrestles you for a victory, hey, well, you know what?
He's not my cup of tea either because he's cringeworthy. Like the shit that he says, like on Twitter and stuff, it's just like, dude, you're a grown adult. And some of the stuff like bend the knee and 3 C's because he was the 2 champions and then his last name's Cejudo, so he called himself Triple C and stuff like that. Like some of this stuff is just so cringeworthy. But when that cage closes and he's in that cage, he turns it on. He's a monster. He's an animal. He's an animal.
Yeah. But by no means it's called boring. It's doing what you have to do to secure a victory. You do what you have to do for a 3-round, 5-round title fight. But here's the thing. Once you get that victory, I don't care how it looks for the first 3 rounds, 5 rounds.
Yeah.
All you care about is when that ref holds your hand up and says, you win, you got the dub, you got a W. That's all he cares about. He don't give a damn about what people say. He's doing what he needs to do, and he's pretty damn fucking good at it. I'll tell you that.
And from what I heard, and from everything I've been reading, this fight's almost a guarantee.
Okay.
Cejudo Sterling. Cejudo's been back in the USADA drug testing pool for a couple months now. So they want to do 284, which would be February, I think.
All right, we got 281 in 3 weeks. That's considered November, December, January. Yeah, like February, yeah.
So around February would be 284. He's been in the pool as early as this year. So it matches up for him to do that. And think about this. If he wins against Sterling, who's to say it stops him from going to 145 and taking that division too? Because think about this. Volkanovski's moved up. So he can move up and go go to that division, if he thinks he can go down in 125, he could hold all three belts at one time. He's that
That's
good.
insane. That is insane. That's insane. That definitely is insane. Wow.
I hate the dude as a person. I just dislike the
But
dude.
I know you hate him outside the ring on his Twitter and of whatever he does is bullshit. But inside the ring, Joe, you got to respect what he does. You
Yeah.
have to.
No,
I
I
mean,
definitely respect what he does. I mean, come on, like I said, you can't overlook the fact again. Olympic gold medalist. Like this dude
yeah.
is otherworldly. I'm trying to look up his percentage, his takedown percentage. I think it's really like
Hmm.
his takedown accuracy is only 33%, which was shocking.
Yeah, that kind
But
of is shocking.
but his defense is 93. He's a
Yeah.
93% takedown defense. Like come on now.
He's like an Usman, you know what I mean? Who's never been taken down, you know what I mean? Like that kind of category. His
Yeah.
defense
Like
takedown.
here's who he's beaten his last
Hmm.
couple of fights. Sergio Pettis, who was on an absolute
He's
tear.
on a tear. Yeah. Yeah.
Demetrius Johnson, who's arguably the GOAT of that
Yeah.
division.
Yep.
TJ Dillashaw. Mind you, I think this was TJ at this point who was juiced to the gills.
Hmm.
Marlon Moraes, who was on an absolute tear, and then Dominic Cruz, who's one of the best to ever do it. Like that's
Yeah.
impressive names right there to kind of run off there. It's just
Agree.
people just
Agree.
overlook him because of what he does. But
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, 284, we're looking about another 3 or 4 months, but that's going to be a hell of a card. I mean, that could be one hell of a matchup with Sterling. What's going on, Ken? You can check out Ken actually tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. with the Batcave as well, and on
our
Saturday nights,
resident
8 p.m.
our resident
Exactly.
Mets fan,
A
what
resident
what
Mets fan,
what
Ken,
happened
look,
in
man, it can't get any worse what I have to wear. I lost the damn bet, so I have to rock this until the World Series is over either way. So what could get any worse, man?
Ken, I'm
What could
interested
get
to
any worse?
see your take on this new playoff format. A lot of people are saying that it kind of screws the higher ranking teams.
I think it
Uh,
does. I'm going to say this right now, Joey. Going off the top real quick, the only reason the Braves lost because they had to sit Joey. They
Paul, but
that's all.
here's the thing.
I'm
Here's the
just
thing.
joking. I'm just
But
joking.
no, no,
Okay.
no, because people actually said that, right? But here's the thing. The Braves had a chance to sit and put their rotation
They
the
had to set up.
exact way they wanted.
Exactly.
They
That's what I
had
told my
their
buddy.
ace. They
Yeah.
had their ace go
Yeah.
against the Phillies' number third pitcher, Ranger Suarez, and they still couldn't get
I
the
know.
win.
I know. You
You
had time
know,
to you set your rotation exactly how day one starter roll it out. Day one. You got beat. You got beat by the hotter team, the better team. Hey, listen. It is what
I
it
don't
is.
I don't honestly know if that Braves team is good, Paul. They're going
It
to be
is,
good
but
for.
you get hot at the right time, Joey. Anything can happen. You know that, Joey. I mean,
I
it
love
is
the
what it is.
Phillies, but I don't know if they're. I mean, they were a better team for that series, but top to bottom, I don't
Well,
know
I
if.
mean, you look at it, Joey. The Yankees are out. The Dodgers are out. The Braves are out. Like
I
the
don't.
top teams are out.
I wasn't a huge fan of this Yankees team. I didn't.
I think they were
Outside of
overrated.
Judge and Stanton, I didn't really see.
Yeah, I know.
Like
I
the
agree.
impressive. Like this team is just dominant players. But yeah, let's get back on track and get back to this main event,
Yeah,
which
let's get it. Let's get this main event, Joey. I mean, this main event, Joey, was a lot of people say Joey Islam. Who has
shocking.
he fought? Who has he fought, Joey? Who has he fought? He has fought nobody. He's fought Paul and Joey from Fight Club 215. Those were two of his wins. But Joey, did he shut people up or not?
For sure, for sure.
Hmm.
Again, I'm not
Hmm.
a huge fan of Ken.
Keeps the hot team hot, no doubt. Houston debunks the rest thing. Okay.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you're
Houston
right.
was,
You're right. Exactly. You're right.
but
100%.
but Ken, in fairness, it took a Jordan Alvarez home run in the ninth to debunk it. Because remember, Mariners were taking it to them early on. There, Mariners were laying the smackdown on the Astros early on, and then
Mm.
Alvarez kind of got lightning in a bottle and hit an upper decker walk off. I don't know why he'd even pitched to the dude there, but
That gets me thinking, why do you pitch to Harper? Why?
There,
Why?
you know what I'm thinking, Paul? And we're getting so
Why?
off topic here, but you got arguably the best closer in baseball warming up, who is great
Mm,
against Harper in his career, and then you don't even put him out there.
Mhm. And so that's why it's a series, not just game one. You're right. I mean, they pulled it out. You know, they won this
But
entire
game
series. They flipped
but
it. They
game
flipped the script.
3 but game 3 went to 19 innings. I mean, the Mariners stuck with them the entire time. The Yankees just
Got swept.
the Astros are just the Yankees' daddies recently.
Yeah,
Seriously, the
big
Astros
time,
are just.
big time.
How many trash cans are going to come to Citizens Bank though, Paul?
Yeah, I can imagine how many it's going to be. Like, my
How many
God.
people are the Fanatics definitely going to be on the field with a trash can the entire time
Oh,
he's
you
there.
guarantee it. I bet you they have a big ass
Or do
trash
you
can
think do
where
you
he'll be
think the
inside of it and pop
MLB
up.
sends out a memo to the Phillies like don't let them do it because it'll be on national
You know what?
TV for
You know
everyone
what,
to
Joe?
see?
You're probably right because it is Philadelphia. You know, they're hated, and there probably will be a memo out there. Because now, Joey, I know we're off topic real quick, but who the hell cares? You know, wasn't there something sent to the Phillies organization that they can't use white towels? It had to be red towels
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of vision
It
of the
wasn't just
player.
the Phillies. It wasn't just the Phillies. It was a rule they changed across the
Oh,
board
okay.
that
Okay.
the supposedly the white tails were messing with the batter's eye.
Yeah, yeah.
So they had to change
I thought it
it.
was just Philly. I thought it was just Philly then.
No,
Okay.
it was
All right.
everyone. But what I'm saying is, Paul, is it's the World Series. It's on Fox, nationally broadcast the game.
Yeah.
It's at this point that was a huge black eye on the entire sport
Mhm.
overall, you know. And I think the MLB is really trying to get past that. So I'd be interested to see if maybe they're saying on the memo like, "Hey, let's not talk about it," and the like to the all the announcers, "Hey, let's not bring it up." To all the all the fanatics stuff like that. Hey, let's not
Mhm.
bring it up. I'd be interested to see if that was the case. But it's funny. Yesterday at the not yesterday, Sunday at the Flyers game, Gritty was walking around with a trash can with the Astros logo on it.
You're not gonna keep Philly fans from smuggling in a trash can, a lid
Well, I don't think
somehow.
the
That's
Phillies
not gonna
fans. What
happen.
I'm wondering is like if they're gonna tell the Fanatic not to do it. Because the Fanatic finds his way onto
Yeah.
TV a lot.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, he's eye candy in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so
So
I wonder if they tell him not to bring out trash cans because they want to
it's
kind of
possible.
keep that on the down low.
I mean, it's gonna be a dark image if they keep constantly bringing it up. You know, you see the
Yeah.
Philly fanatic out there with a trash can lid. You know, with the
And
Astros
especially
logo.
considering they're back in the World Series where the cheating happened,
Exactly, exactly. It's gonna leave a dark cloud out there. But yeah, I can see that. But who cares, man? You know what I mean? Hey, it's you have home field advantage. Do what you need to do. You know, screw it.
exactly.
You know, I don't give a damn. You know what I mean? Shit. But
Yeah,
let's get
most
back
of the
into it.
cheaters are still on the team anyway. The two
Exactly. Yeah.
biggest cheaters in Bregman and Altuve are
That's too
still
late.
there.
All right, Joey, let's get back into this 215 Fight Club and shit here now. The main event, Joey, just like I said, Islam, like he shut the damn world
Talk
up,
about
Joey. He shut him
360,
up.
Paul. Talk about 360. And
Yes,
everyone was
yes.
saying that Oliveira was going to submit Islam. That was his path to victory. And then Islam
Yes.
submits Oliveira. Like
It,
talk about
in an
a
arm triangle.
total
Wow.
a total turnaround.
Hmm.
But we see in every fight, we've seen it in all of Oliveira's most recent fights.
Hmm.
He gets rocked. He gets rocked and staggered. But here's the difference with Gaethje, with Poirier,
Hmm.
with why am I slipping who else he's fought? Chandler. All these
Hmm.
other guys are not Islam on the
Exactly.
ground. All the other guys
Exactly.
do not have the grappling of Islam. So all these other fighters were rocking Oliveira, and then they were too afraid to get on top and engage in the ground and pound to get Oliveira out of there because they were afraid of getting caught, even with Oliveira being rocked.
Hmm.
What happened here was Islam was not afraid of
No,
engaging with Oliveira on the ground.
no, not at
He
all.
dove right in there when Oliveira was rocked. And
Hmm.
because Oliveira was rocked, he was able to sink in that submission.
Yeah,
Because any of them, like we said, Poirier, Chandler, Gaethje, none of them wanted to engage
exactly.
in that because they were
Exactly.
so afraid of being caught. And
Hmm.
and Islam wasn't. That was different in the fight.
I seen on Twitter, just like you said, Joey, with Islam, he jumped into the fire. He didn't, he didn't back out of the fire with his gear on. He said, "Screw the gear, I'm jumping into the fire, butt ass naked, fighting." That's what he did. I mean, he grabbed the bull by the horn and he went in and he did his thing. But Joey, I mean, what?
Yeah.
It's like you said, it was a 180. You look at excuse me, Oliveira's last three matches, all submissions, Joey, all submissions. We call him like a goat of submissions. What he does, truly does, and a 180 flipped where an arm triangle by Islam, who a lot of people say, hey, who has he fought? It doesn't matter who you damn fought, Joey. You beat the champ. You beat the champ.
Yep.
You know that there is no asterisk when you beat the champ. It wasn't a lucky shot. He clearly, fucked Oliveira up. Honestly, I mean, he really did his thing. He's I love this kid. I love his energy. But what do you think? I mean, there was a little call outs after the fight, Joey. What do you think?
Well, we kind of knew that was going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Volkanovski let it be known that he wanted to move up, and
Mhm.
I don't blame him. He kind of wiped out the 145 division. He
There's
kind of
nobody. There's nobody
beat
there's
exactly.
nobody in that division, Joe, that can even give him a shot. So.
I mean, Volkanovski is definitely going to be the best striker that
Mhm.
Islam's ever fought. Um, Volk definitely has good takedown defense. I'm
Mhm.
not sure it's going to be on par to stop Islam from taking him down. Um, but also Islam, like people compare Islam to Khabib a lot. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, the similarities are there. I mean, it's his
Right.
coach
Right.
from the same area. They're all very similar in that way.
But there's a huge difference in these fighters, Joey.
But there's a
Khabib and
huge
Islam.
difference in these fighters. I think Khabib was a little more well-rounded on the feet. I mean,
Mhm.
on the floor, on the
On the mat, yeah.
grappling.
Mhm.
Uh, that's not saying that Islam isn't good. I just think Khabib was a step above everybody
Mhm.
in that division. But I think Islam is a little bit better standing
Upright, yeah,
than
I agree.
Khabib is.
Mhm.
I think Islam shocked a lot of people this weekend and showed that he does have some pretty good striking, and that's still going to advance in his game. That's still coming together for him. The
I
scary
agree.
thing is when he puts it all together and he becomes a
Yeah.
good striker, good
Yes.
to great striker, not just an average striker. Um, at that point, it's like, what is your path to victory? Because right now, obviously, your path to victory is keep it on the feet and hope you knock him out.
Mhm.
But when he becomes just a little bit good striker, it's like, where's your path to victory at that point?
Exactly what you said. I mean, once he learns his full potential, the sky's the limit. I mean, you're learning from the goat on the mat, and Khabib. You're learning from him. You already know what that's going to be about. But just like you said, once he figures out this striking and stand up game, Joey, can he be beat? Honestly, can he be beat?
Well, of course, now again, I don't know why he says this. I think he just says it to be relevant. But Connor says
Oh
that he
boy,
has
Joey.
all the skills to beat Islam.
Joey,
Now
okay,
on the
look,
feet,
I'm
now
gonna
here's
let you go. I'm gonna let you go, Joey. This is your boy Connor. I'm gonna let you talk about it. I'm just gonna sit here and listen to you because I want to hear your take on this.
does he have the skills to beat Islam? He does have the skills. He does have the skills to beat Islam. I think he's got the stand up to keep Islam at bay, um, and piece Islam up on the feet. And I think he's got good takedown defense. But with Islam, all it takes is one. To say you have the skills to beat him is crazy because again, all it takes is one, and when he gets you
Right.
down, he's gonna punish you. I think it would be a hell of a fight because I think people tend to forget just how good Connor truly is because he just talks so much.
Hmm.
Um, and he does gas fast. That's another thing is if Islam
Yeah.
can drag this fight out into the later rounds, Islam. Again, we haven't seen Islam though in later rounds either, so
True. True.
that's a question mark also. But we've seen Connor in later rounds. We know he doesn't have that tank. I think it'd be interesting to see. I think that's the money fight if they were to do it. Is the money fight to make at this point? Because realistically, look at the top five. Who else would you give a title shot to, Paul? At this point?
But Joey, how can you bring Conor McGregor in after this huge layoff and then put him in the top 10, Joey, and get him a title shot? How?
Because if you look at the top 10 pay-per-views of all times in the UFC,
But we're
I think
talking money. We're talking money here, Joey. We're not talking about, the
yeah,
fighter accolades.
money.
We're not.
The top 10 pay-per-view sales ever in the UFC history.
Oh, I
I
agree.
think
I agree with that. Yeah.
nine of the 10 are Connor's pay-per-views.
I agree with that.
That's
But
why he gets the fight,
right, I
and
agree with
that's
that
the only
standpoint.
reason why he gets the
Okay.
fight.
Okay. I agree with that. If it's a money avenue, just, Dana says, let's sell out, go back to MSG. Let's sell out whatever you want to do. Go back to
They
Abu
could
Dhabi,
that
you know,
fight there's not many fights that I say sells out like a Jerry's World for UFC standpoint
that would,
because
that name would.
that fight. Here's the thing: you they do a huge promotion with the Khabib Connor aspect. Khabib
Hmm.
is Islam's coach. I think Islam was
Hmm.
actually the person that Connor clocked and dropped in the ring
Oh, okay,
during that
okay.
melee. I think Islam was the guy that snuck up on Connor, and Connor dropped him in the
Oh, I didn't even
ring.
know that. I didn't even know that part. I didn't know who
Yeah,
it was. I
watch
didn't know
that
who it
back.
was.
I think Islam
Okay.
was the guy that Connor suckered because he was trying to cheap shot him.
Right,
Remember when
right.
that whole free fall
Yeah.
happened
Mhm.
and Khabib's boys were jumping? Like, I think Islam was the guy that Connor hit. They can use
Okay.
that aspect of stuff. That sells a fight.
Yeah,
That's
you run
Conor
you run
McGregor.
you run with that beef between, Khabib and Islam back in the day. I mean, not Khabib and Islam, Islam or Khabib and,
And
Conor.
here's the
And
funniest thing,
wow,
Paul. And here's the
wow.
biggest wild card that they throw in there, and this is gonna crack you up. But Hasbulla?
Don't even get me started, Joey. Don't.
Do you know
What
who
what's
Hasbulla is,
leave
though,
my
right?
yes, I do. Leave my little man alone. I love that
So
dude. Leave him
him and
alone.
Islam are really good boys, right?
Yes, they are. Yes, yes.
But Connor hates Hasbulla.
Does he
Like
really? Does he have a
Connor,
beef with him?
Connor says he wants to kick him through a field goal.
Oh, don't say that
So
about my little
they
Hasbulla.
could even use that as a point of promotion.
You know what'd be fucked up, Joey? If oh my god, if this fight does happen, like Islam fights Conor McGregor, Khabib's gonna be walking with him. He's coming out. McGregor's already going to be out there because the champ comes out second. Of course, you already know that. But Hasbulla is on his shoulders.
Yeah. Or what if or I wouldn't be shocked though, because again, we're talking about it's not the typical UFC fighter. We're talking about Conor McGregor here, who kind
Mhm.
of changed the entire sport
Right,
for the
right.
better in terms of sales and stuff. So I wouldn't be shocked if Islam came out first and Conor came out second. What if Conor came out
Hmm.
with that other
So,
dude, with that
what
other
other dude?
small dude that started the trend, that remember they were supposed to fight each other and never came to
Oh my
fruition?
god, dude, that would be like
That would be so good if Conor came out with him and and what if they were the co-main event?
that would be insane, dude. That would be insane. Like, okay, oh my god, because didn't Hasbulla get his UFC like
He signed a contract.
he signed a contract. That's what I mean. Like, okay, let's go sign this other dude up and let's just make the co-main event. Or you know
Yeah,
what, the do or not co-main event. Let's just make it the first match of the night. This is get to how imagine how hyped this crowd would be, Joey, if
yeah,
you see Hasbulla fight. This dude. My God, that would be insane. That would be insane. I know we're reaching, Joey. This will never happen, but Jesus Christ, that would be insane.
yeah. But
I
it's just
I watch everything for free. I shouldn't say that, but I'd pay $70 for that shit.
yeah. Listen, you wouldn't be able to watch it for free on that fight. If you notice any Connor fights, they cut those streams
No,
fast.
there's only one, Joey. I forgot. I was in Philly during the time. There was one fight where I had to actually go into Chicky and Pete's and watch it because my stream on all my streams wasn't working. I forgot which one that was.
It was probably McGregor Mayweather.
No, you know what? Which one it was, Joe? It was the McGregor. It was the Mayweather fight.
Yeah,
It was the Mayweather fight. I'm thinking like, oh, what the
that's
hell?
probably
I got
because you had Mayweather promotion, you had McGregor promotion, you had UFC.
exactly. I was
All
pissed. Yeah, I remember that one. That's the only one I haven't had. I had trouble watching.
yeah.
But
And if you notice, like a lot of times, like stuff I watch, you'll have to switch streams real fast at the main event because right when the main event's about to start, they cut
really,
it. They cut it.
I
And you
never
gotta
had
go to a
that
new
problem.
stream.
I don't have that
Not
problem.
not anymore with the new thing. But when I used to watch them like on like the internet browsers,
Oh, okay, okay,
they'd cut it real fast. You have to go to a new stream real fast right when the main event's about to start.
gotcha. I get pissed off when I'm sitting there watching it, and my niece Katie's all online because we stream everything, and it's like it's starting to get good and it starts buffering. I start screaming like, "No, no!"
Or I start screaming, everyone turn your fucking Wi-Fi
That's
off
what I said. I
now.
said I said that a couple of weeks ago. I forgot what I was watching. I screamed so loud. I was like, "Chelsea, Katie, turn that shit off."
Yeah. Seriously, because people
But
don't realize.
She's always playing Xbox. She streams everything is up in her room. Katie's always online, streaming stuff too. And I'm like, my God. So now I got this room's a shambles. I got my big screen going back up there, my 130-inch TV. My screen's going back up so I can sit down here and hardwire my Fire Stick so I can watch
Yeah.
down here again. Yep. So screw you guys. You guys ain't getting the hardwire. I'm getting the hardwire.
Yeah. But
But get
looking
back.
ahead
Yeah.
to
Let's look ahead, Joe.
the next
281 here.
next
281 here.
card,
Mhm.
MSG, huge
Yeah.
card. This was a card I originally wanted to go to, but I feel, and this is no knock on the UFC because
hmm
they put together a good card,
hmm
but For the prices that they're asking for this card,
What are the prices,
in
Joey?
581 is the cheapest ticket right now.
What is it? Are we talking nosebleed?
Yeah.
There's no damn way.
And we're talking about Izzy versus Pierre, or however you say his
Yeah.
last name.
Mhm.
Who Alex isn't even a big name fighter in the UFC. Like, he was big in kickboxing and Glory, don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but in the UFC he's not a huge name.
Right.
And to charge it for that fight as the main event, to me, just a little head scratching. Now that we have a co-main event of
Yeah, but
Carlo
Joe,
versus
you do have
Zhang.
some names out there. You have Poirier, you have Edgar out there. You have some names out there as well, Joey. And
Yeah, but Paul, but we're talking like a Steep or a Jones or a
yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Teixeira. Like, for $581, you're gonna have to come with a little bit more firepower to make
I
me
agree.
shell that out. I paid 400 for McGregor Aldo. Talking about one of the top 5 biggest
How
fights in
how long did that
UFC.
fight? How long did that fight last, Joey?
15 seconds or
Yeah.
13 seconds. But here's the thing, that was probably the greatest card I've ever been to, Paul. Like,
Right.
that's
Right. Overall,
that,
yeah, I agree.
let me read you that card real fast before we close out the show.
I always wanted to ask you that. How do you feel like the main event? I know, Joey, you're the biggest Conor McGregor fan I've ever known in my life, still are. But I never asked you that, how you felt, leading up to this card, and then the main event happens. You're probably drunk as hell, Irish gear, full decked out. In 13 seconds, it was over, Joey. I wanted to ask. I never asked you that, how you felt about that.
I honestly, hold on, my friend just sent me a picture. It pissed me off a little bit. Look at this, Paul. It's a big violation in the city, Paul.
What's that? That's not real. It's photoshopped, right?
No, that's real.
No, it's not. Is it really?
Yeah, yeah.
I lost all respect for that dude.
My friend texted me, "Fuck that pussy."
That's not real. It's got to be photoshopped. Is it all over
No,
the media? It's really all over the media.
I think he's from Houston.
He is from Houston because that's where he played high school football. I remember that. But still, like, dude, you're coming out and your team's 6-0, and you're gonna be wearing Astro shit now, and you're in the city where
Especially
they
especially
might
in
grease
this
your ass up.
especially in this city, Paul, where more like this, you can say, you can agree to this, more than any other city, every single sports team seems to support each other.
That's the
Like,
funny thing.
more
Joe. You're
so than
right.
any other team.
You're right about that, 100%. I mean, I agree with that because one team, just like if the Phillies are bad, the Eagles are good, vice versa. They always find a way to, I don't want to say collaborate, but support each other.
Yeah, but you always see, like when the Phillies are doing good, like, you always see, like, Bryce Harper, someone sitting courtside at the Phillies
Well,
game.
here's the thing. That's a perfect example. Jason Kelsey. Jason Kelsey.
Yeah, exactly. You don't see that other places.
You don't see that. I mean, I do see, like, with Dallas. I see, like, the Mavericks game. I see Dak. Zeke, but
Yeah.
it's not what it is. I
It's like
mean,
more like they're a celebrity there, not like they're like
exactly.
part of
Like,
the fan atmosphere. Like, they're
yeah,
sitting in the club box away from
right,
everyone
right.
else, type of thing. Whereas
Kelsey's down
here,
there
it's like
front row.
he's on the
Yeah,
chugging beers with the fans and stuff. It's just
exactly,
seems different. Like,
exactly.
they embrace the city more.
I
The
agree.
blue collar city of Philadelphia more, and to do that I hope that picture is from before, not recently.
I don't know. We have to look that up, Joey. I don't know, man. That's just like, and I don't feel that bad, wearing all this shit. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
hey, I lost a
Like,
bet,
getting
so
back to
I
that
got to wear this
card,
shit.
Paul. Getting back to that
Yeah,
card.
tell me that card, Joey.
194. The main event was McGregor Aldo. The co-main event was Chris Weidman versus Luke Rockhold.
Wow.
Yoel Romero versus Sozar. Damian Meyer versus Gunnar Nelson. Max Holloway versus Jeremy Stevens. And then the prelims were even better. I mean, before, it was like a Uriah Faber versus Frankie.
Wow.
Tisha Torres was on that card. Colby Covington, Kevin Lee. Like, this card was stacked. And then the best card that I've ever been to in my entire life, Paul, was MSG 205.
Which one was that?
McGregor versus Eddie Alvarez.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
The co-main event was Tyron Woodley versus Stephen Thompson.
Mm.
There's another title fight, 3 title fights on one card. Joanna versus Carolina. Chris Weidman versus Yoel Romero,
Mhm.
Misha Tate versus Raquel Pennington,
Damn.
Kelvin Gastelum versus Donald Cerrone.
And this
Like
was
this
when
card
Cowboy
was
was relevant. This was when Cowboy was relevant. You
yeah.
know?
Here's another thing: Frankie Edgar versus Jeremy Stevens,
Jesus.
Khabib versus Michael Johnson, Bilal Muhammad versus Vincente.
That's insane. Just the
That
names on that card.
that
Wow.
card from top to bottom. And here's the
Let me
prelims.
ask you,
The
what'd you
first
pay for that?
fight of the night, Paul.
What'd you pay for that, Joey?
It wasn't that much, but the first fight of the night was Jim Miller. He was the first fight
Really?
on the prelims, the UFC Fight Pass prelims, was
That's
Jim Miller.
insane.
But
Jim
here's the
Miller on
thing:
prelim.
we didn't pay that much money
Hmm.
because that was right around the time my dad got his double knee replacements.
Oh, okay.
He was still considered handicapped at the time,
Hmm.
so we actually got accessible seatings. So I think we paid like
Damn, man,
150 a ticket.
I'm gonna have to hit Mo up next time I go to a sporting event. I might just take his ass with me. You know what I mean?
That's
Because
what we
I
do.
know your dad, man. I know your dad. I'll be like, don't do that shit. Your dad will fake the funk on a nasty dunk and get us down to the front row. I
That's
know
what we
that,
do
man.
all the time, Paul. Honestly, we'll buy the
Dude,
cheap
I
seats.
remember your dad. I forgot where the hell we went. I know we're getting off subject. One time we went somewhere. I forgot what the hell we went to. And he's like, Mo, we're going down to the front row. And I was like, Joe, we're not going down to the front row, bro. We're like 80 rows ahead. I forgot where we went, Joey. We went down like we sat like
Was
I
it the
think it was
freestyle concert?
I don't know what the hell it was. Dude, we were right down there. Joe was like, I was like, Joe, what are you doing? He's like, don't worry about it. They can't kick us out now. I'm like, what the fuck? Your dad is a comical dude, man. He is. I love
Yeah.
that, bro. I love that, man. Oh, man. But Joey, real quick, I mean, before we get, UFC 281 here, I mean, let's, I know we have 3 weeks here, Joey. We'll get into this in the next couple of weeks here, but real quick, let's just go over it. Izzy versus AP. What do you got? Real quick.
I think Izzy's right now training takedowns, and
You think he's
I think
doing it? You
that's
think
the
he's
game
training for it?
plan. That's the
Okay.
game plan that we go
Okay.
forward there.
Okay. Okay.
Still have a little bit of time thinking about this fight. I'm not going to pick it yet.
Yeah, I'm leaning toward the other direction. I've been saying this for a while, Joey. Before this, when this first happened, I said AP. I think this is going to be Izzy's loss here, where he loses it. But I don't know. If Izzy's, sitting back in the war room, basically looking at these takedowns, what AP does, because AP has some fucking power, Joey. He has power.
But here's the thing: he beat Izzy in kickboxing. This is
Exactly.
MMA now.
Mm-hmm.
If Izzy can incorporate all aspects of MMA, I like
Mm-hmm.
Izzy's chances.
I agree with that one. Let's get Esposar and Zhang. What do you think? I love Zhang here. I love Zhang.
Zhang for sure.
She has a damn jaw that can't ever break, man.
And she has power.
She does. Poirier Chandler. I know these are early predictions, but we'll go early one. What do you think?
I think Chandler needs to win this fight or he's gonna get cut.
I think so. He's on three losing streak now.
There's no chance Chandler gets cut.
You don't think
There's absolutely no chance Michael Chandler gets cut if he loses this fight. Like here's his fault.
Joey, we've seen some crazy shit in UFC, Joey. Come on. Look at O'Malley jumping from 11 to 1, Joey. We've seen some crazy shit, Joey.
Paul, here's who he's fault has been in the UFC. Mm-hmm. Dan Hooker, Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
He's 2-2. He's 2-2. He won his last fight. He's not on any losing streak.
Against Ferguson, right? Okay, I forgot Ferguson. He did fight Ferguson.
And
he knocked him out. Okay.
He's always been either the co-main event or main event of every single fight he's been in since he's been here.
True.
I can promise you, I will bet my year's salary that even if Chandler loses a devastating knockout, he is not in danger of being cut.
Okay.
He was a huge acquisition. He's fought nothing but top 5 fighters since he's been here. Win, lose, or draw, this dude will be in UFC until he's ready to no longer be in the UFC. I'm going Chandler here for the simple fact that I think people a lot of times overlook Chandler's wrestling.
Okay.
I think Chandler knows that he's probably slightly outmatched on the feet here.
Okay.
And I think Chandler looked to get it to the ground, and I think Chandler wins a fight that way.
Okay. I'm gonna go Chandler as well. I mean, you're looking at his last fights, Joey. Ferguson, Gaethje, Oliveira, and even Hooker. You know what I mean? It's you're right. I think he wins this fight early. I'll go with him as well.
And then this
Now,
next fight makes me a little sad, Paul, because I'm going to tell you why.
Edgar versus Gutierrez.
I think this is Edgar's swan song.
You think so?
He's from Toms River. It's probably
Okay.
outside of the Prudential Center. It's probably the closest UFC event they'll have to his hometown of Toms River.
Oh,
I just think they let him go out with his people, on a
win or
big
lose. Win or
card.
lose. Win or lose. He's
Win
gonna
or
be
lose, I think this is
convinced.
it for him. I think this is it.
You really think so?
I do.
I don't know. I don't know. I think he, it's a fighter's adrenaline, Joey. When you get that
He's
win,
41, Paul.
yeah,
He's
but
been
Joey, he's
some
23-10. I mean, he can still fight.
Yeah, but
He can still stow hands.
there's been some wars this dude was in. Like
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree.
and if he loses, this will be on a 3-fight losing streak. I just think I don't know. I just think
I
this
agree with
it just
that.
matches up. And think about this: in his last 5 fights,
Mhm.
he's 1-4.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want to really talk about that. I mean, you're right about that, 100%.
His last 7 fights, he's 2-5. Like it's not been a great couple of years for him. And some of these losses here, we're not talking about like decision losses, KO, TKO, KO. Like we're talking about some devastating losses here.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, oh my God.
You know what the
It,
best part is, Paul? The Phillies are in the World Series. They only have 4 more wins to get into the World Series.
oh,
4 more wins.
they only have 4 more to go.
4 more wins.
Damn. Well, 4 more, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
O'Malley's ranked number 2, right? Number 2. All right, last fight, Joey. Last fight, real quick. Hooker and Puelles.
Hooker,
Claudio.
he's getting the shitty end of the stick recently with his opponents. If you look at who he's been fighting,
I,
you know,
yeah, you're right.
like he's fought Islam, I believe, or he was supposed to fight Islam. No, he did fight Islam.
He did.
I think that was a last second throw together. I don't think he was supposed to fight Islam.
I don't think he was either.
I think it was a last second throw in. But he fought Chandler's debut fight. He fought Poirier before that. Like he's a good fighter. Just he's fought some really good opponents. It's
Yeah.
I'm picking against Hooker though in this fight just because I think he's been going against top of the top recently, and I just think at this point his time's kind of running up.
Really? Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, but we'll definitely dive into that. We still have 3 weeks to talk about that. But I mean, I don't know. We'll definitely talk about. But before we get out of here, Joe, there is one fight coming up this weekend. Lomachenko. He's
Yeah.
fighting Ortiz. Now, I did look at Ortiz, but Ortiz really hasn't. I can't name one person that Ortiz has fought.
I think this is
So,
more of a. I think you can agree with me, Paul. I think this
a
is
tune-up. I
more
think it's a
a
tune-up.
tune-up because
Yeah.
the rumor going around is
Mhm.
Tank versus Lomachenko, which would be
Yeah.
a fight that a lot of people would like to see.
Mhm. Yeah, we won't dive into this fight too much. I mean, it's just like I agree with you, Joe, with that word. That's a perfect word. Tune-up fight for, if this happens with Tank, it's going to be one hell of a battle between those two. So I think this is just a tune-up fight. Just put it on the card. Go. If you want to work on conditioning, go get your conditioning. Whatever you want to work on, this is your chance to work on it before you face. Could be one of the top, pound per pound boxers out there in the world right now.
Yeah, they're saying that Tank versus Lomachenko is autumn or fall of 2023.
Okay. All right.
So that's obviously gonna be the next fight. And here's another thing too. The only thing I can say is, and I don't know if it's gonna be a factor at all,
Mhm.
but Lomachenko is Ukrainian.
Yeah.
Lomachenko was in Ukraine on the front line battling with the Ukrainian army when this war first started.
Really? I didn't know that.
I'm interested to see if that at all comes in the factor. I'm interested to see how much he's really been able to focus on training.
Mhm.
Just because your people are in that situation. We're not gonna touch base on it because we don't want to do any of the hot words that Facebook
Yeah.
flagged us for. But everyone knows what I'm talking about, and
Mhm.
so I'm interested to see if that plays a factor at all, if that kind of
Yeah.
drives him even more, to represent his people in time of such need. But
This fight does happen between him and Tank. Where's speculation of this fight will happen, Joey?
we're saying Vegas, which makes
Vegas.
sense,
Okay.
fight
Okay.
capital of the world.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
I was just
interested to
thinking,
see though if it would be like if it's Vegas, if it would be T-Mobile or if it would be maybe the new
Allegiant
Raiders Stadium.
Allegiant Stadium.
You would think Raiders, right? You would think that fight's
Yeah,
too big to be like
Allegiant
a
Stadium.
T-Mobile. Yeah.
Allegiant Stadium would be a lot, better venue, especially for that. That's what it's kind of funny that I mean, T-Mobile is huge, it's the mecca of boxing right now for the West Coast. But I think Allegiant Stadium would be a lot better if they're going to, call Vegas the mecca of sports. I think I really do.
Yeah, because here's the thing, it's I think but here's the thing about boxing in Vegas is it happens so often that I think you have to pick and choose what fights you truly put there.
That's true. True.
Like only
Yeah.
certain people I think would be able to sell it. I think Lomachenko at this point and Tank are big enough names to maybe not sell out Allegiant Stadium, but put 60,000 people in there.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like this fight here, this Lomachenko fight, you know where it's going to be at, Joey?
Is it the small venue at MSG?
It's the theater. It's the theater version, of MSG. It's not MSG. The smaller venue.
He fights at MSG a lot, though.
He does. He does. But that just goes what you're saying. Like at Allegiant Stadium, T-Mobile Stadium, it's the name draw who you're fighting. Of course, if Paul and Joey fight, we might get the Wisconsin playground field or some shit like that.
I don't understand it, Paul. Like Lomachenko is such a good boxer, and it always seems like his fights are so under the radar. Like you don't know they're happening until the day of. Like ESPN never really broadcast about this fight, or
you know what? That's so true, Joey. Like I actually think we're both big boxing fans, and I was looking at like this weekend, no UFC, of course. It's NFL, and the Phillies are starting Friday, of course. So I'm thinking are there any boxing events that I can check out? I didn't even know Lomachenko was fighting this weekend, honestly.
We do have the spectacle of Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva.
Okay, Silva's gonna. I'm rooting for Silva. I
don't know if this fight's real, Paul.
I know it's not real, Joe. I know it's not real, but I'm just saying I want to shut this dude up. Okay, I want to shut.
I just saw a video of them shooting a commercial together, and they're freaking dancing side by side.
God. Well, didn't you say he came out with an exterminator costume a while back ago? Like, come on, dude.
Happy Halloween.
Oh my God.
That's my son's match.
When is this fight? This is going to be Saturday night or Sunday? When is this?
Saturday night.
I'm going to have to check it out just for the shits and giggles. Joey, now real quick before we get out of here,
hopefully I want to ask Anderson Silva wins, because if not,
I did
Jake Paul is going to be unbearable.
Oh, I know. Joey, real quick, I want to ask you. I know, you have a show Saturday morning you will not be on because your brother is getting married. Chris, congratulations out there. And what is his fiance's name? I'm sorry, Joey.
Maddie,
I don't know if you know what you're getting into, the Woods family, but, God bless you, welcome to the Wood family. But Joey, real quick, I know you're not doing the show this week, so I wanted to ask you something real quick. Roman Reigns is fighting who at the whatever the hell this is.
Logan Paul.
What is this, Joey? What is this about? What is this real, or does
I think
Roman
Logan
lose?
Paul,
Roman lose?
So no, Roman doesn't lose, but I think and this I'm interested to see. I'm interested this fight's still happening because of all the shit going on with America and Saudi Arabia with the oil and gas and stuff. Like, I don't know if you follow along with that, but Saudi Arabia just announced that they're going to be cutting gas production.
Wait, so my gas is going up again?
Probably. Because
I'm already paying $4.79 for premium.
Because Saudi Arabia has announced that they're going to be cutting production. So now we're coming back, like maybe we shouldn't protect you now, and then Saudi Arabia, like just getting ugly between us two. And I'm kind of shocked that the WWE is still going over there. But this is the Prince is a huge. From what I heard, the Saudi Arabian Prince is a huge WWE fan, and I also heard he's a huge Logan Paul fan, and that's why Logan Paul is on this card. But here's the thing, Paul. This is gonna make you crack up. When the WWE first started going over there, he asked for Yokozuna to come.
What?
Yokozuna's been dead since 2002.
Yeah, God rest his soul. I love that. What was his move where he just ass cracked you? And yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was asking for wrestlers who've been dead for years to come with them, and WWE's like, they've been dead. Like, that's why I remember a couple years ago WWE had that sumo wrestlers match.
Yeah, right.
Because
Okay.
the Prince wanted Okasuna to do a sumo wrestler match. WWE was like, he's been dead. So they already got Big Show versus sumo wrestler over there. Because of that, because they wanted Yokozuna and he's been dead.
That's just like asking for Andre the Giant to come back. Like,
They
oh
did
shit.
ask for him.
No, he didn't. Joey, stop. Joey, stop.
They did. Look it up.
Are you serious, Joe? You're fucking putting me on, right? Seriously.
Nah, they did.
Yokozuna, Andre the Giant. Who else did he fucking look for?
I'm gonna look it up real fast.
Oh my God, Joey, this dude. Now I understand. Now I understand what the hell's going on here. I really do. That dude's a clown. Holy crap. He asked for 5 freaking wrestlers, Joey. 5 freaking wrestlers out there. 5, Joey. 5 wrestlers he asked for.
He wanted the Saudi Arabia wanted Yokozuna and the Ultimate Warrior. Both have been dead.
What do they watch these fights on replay or something, Joey? From like the 2000, early 2000s. What do they do over there? They don't watch like live events anymore.
It says the clear the people who reach the WWE have not been keeping up with the current product. They asked for Yokozuna, Ultimate Warrior, and the Undertaker.
But he didn't ask for Andre the Giant.
Not this time. At one time they did.
Oh my God. That dude's insane. That dude's insane. Holy shit.
Well, that's why they brought the sumo wrestler in to appease them because they couldn't obviously get Yokozuna.
Okay, so I think this match is pretty much all politics, pretty much, I guess, huh? Hey, we're gonna please you. We're gonna please you the way you want, so we can get the gas prices and the oil to come back to us on a cheaper down low. I guess. Okay.
Well, listen,
they're probably telling Roman Reigns, go ahead and let him win. Let him win.
If WWE's doing our bidding, how about someone just drop something on us right now because we're all screwed. It might be worse than Dennis Rodman doing our bidding in
Korea. I know. Well, hell, if Logan, what's his name, DePaul wins, gas prices might be going down to 99 cents, Joey. Who knows? They might be happy over there, so it might be a win-win situation.
What do you think? We're gonna see Japan take out North Korea soon, Paul?
I hope so. I'm going to call my people over there.
They need to. They're getting a little too ballsy over there right now.
Yeah, I'm going to call my Yakuza family over there and tell them, hey, get the army ready. We're going to go, go on a kamikaze mission here and beat some ass over there.
I don't think you say kamikaze. I think we're going to get flagged now.
No, kamikaze is actually a Japanese word. When I used to break dance back in the day, they used to call me kamikaze kid.
That's what I think we all know what a kamikaze is.
That hopefully we can asterisk that word out of there. Hopefully we can get flagged for that. But
yeah.
Listen, before we get flagged for any other suspicious bullshit, Joey, let's talk about what we have going on here, Joey. Would you like to do it, or would you like me to do it, Joey?
You can do it.
Okay. All right. Tuesday, of course, it's 10 p.m. Fight Club 215 with myself, Joey Woods, talking UFC, boxing, all boxing, MMA. We keep you in tune. Tomorrow morning, the Batcave with Ken Fry, 10 a.m. Even though the Mets are out, he'll talk about the Phillies and the Astros World Series, and he'll let you know if any trash cans will be coming out to Citizens Bank Park. Of course, tomorrow night, College Football Frenzy, keeping it all real with college football. Top 10, who's in, who's out, Heisman hopefuls, and we always throw some betting in there as well. Right after that, it's 215 Boys with myself, Dave Yarnell, and Matt Klein, keeping it real with the Dallas Cowboys. Thursday night, it's 4 Locker Room Podcast with Big Mike, talking Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, and Phillies. What better time to listen to Philly sports? So tune in Thursday night for Big Mike's 4 Locker Room Podcast. And got to keep it real in the NFC East. The Big Blue Power Hour sitting at 6-1. Those New York Giants with Dan O'Connor, Stacey Northup, and Evan Laurel. Keeping it real Friday night, 8 p.m. Saturday morning is usually at 7:30, but we might have a pop-up show this morning. I'm going to see what I can get for that going on, because Joey will have his brother getting married. Congratulations once again, Chris. Out of the Ring Wrestling with Dave Yarnell and Joey Woods, and we'll see if we can get that on this weekend. And, of course, Saturday, 8 p.m., Vegas Sports Scene with Ken Fry and Rob Hefner, talking all Vegas sports, keeping you in tune with the Raiders, the Knights, and whatever is going on in Las Vegas. And, of course, to our sponsor, J Fine Law, a.k.a. Big Al. For all your personal injury needs, give them a call, 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Or you can go to his office, 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. Tell him the boys from Out of the Box sent you. I guarantee he'll take care of you. And, of course, to our newest sponsor, Castle Boxing in Johnstown, PA. Big Dog Bill, proud sponsor of USA Boxing and home of Trayshawn Wiggins, the 10th-ranked world welterweight boxer in the world. So, Joey, anything else you got going on for us, brother, before we get out of here?
I don't. Just at this point, F Houston. Next week we got the Astros. So here's how crazy the schedule is, Paul.
I seen
So
this. I seen this.
Monday,
This every day,
Tuesday,
every other day,
Monday, Tuesday,
every day.
Wednesday. Monday,
Mhm,
Tuesday, Wednesday is Phillies, Astros,
mhm,
right? Then Thursday, the Phillies are on a break. It's Eagles, Texans.
mhm,
Then Friday, it's Phillies, Astro again. So all next week, it's F Houston.
mm. F Houston.
And then it's at every. So at this point, it's just F Texas overall. F the Cowboys, F Houston, just F
How dare
Texas.
you say that? How dare you say that to me, Joey? Joey, how dare you say that to me?
You know what? You know what's pretty wild, Paul, was the fans chanting "We want Cup" like halfway through the game when Dak was struggling low. I thought that was disrespectful.
Wait, what'd they say?
They were chanting "We want Cup"
We
or
want Cup.
what's his name? Rush, Cooper Rush, whatever his name is.
Cooper Rush.
They were chanting "We want Rush."
What?
Like 3 drives into the game, you didn't hear it. They were chanting "We want Rush."
No, I didn't hear it because I watched a different. I watched a different thing when I was watching the game.
Yeah, they were chanting "We want Rush."
Really?
Isn't that disrespectful? I mean, Dak worked his ass off to get back there as fast as he could. And then he
Yeah,
was struggling early on, which you knew was going to happen. The dude didn't throw a ball in 6 weeks. What did you think was going to happen?
I agree. I mean, we talked about on the in 215 boys. It's going to be rusty coming in. Being 5 weeks out.
Yeah.
Still gripping the ball. It's going to take time, man. It's just like you got to figure he only played not even one game. What's one game in Tampa, and it was probably his worst game ever, Joey, as a
Yeah.
starting quarterback. It was bad. So really, think about it. You didn't play preseason. That's 4 games. You missed game one, and then you missed 4 games. You basically missed 10 games of live action. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I don't want to hear that shit. I mean, honestly, Joe, I know we're getting overtime here, but I'm glad we're sitting at 4-2. You know what I mean? I'm glad we're there. We're still in the thick of thing, or 5-2. Excuse me. We're still sitting there right where we're going to be. Because honestly, I thought we would be 1-5, possibly 1-6 right now, Joey. So I like
Yeah.
where we're at.
I mean, this is no knock on either team, but looking at the NFC, I think it's the Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants are the cream of the crop, honestly.
Joey,
Like,
real quick, did you see this new power ranking where they still have Green Bay in the top 6? Did you see something like that?
I didn't see that, but I don't understand how you can
Uh,
have Green Bay in top 6. Rodgers looks like a shell of himself.
my
Um,
top teams right now, Joey. Honestly, I mean, this is not being homer or biased. I have in the NFC. We'll go there. I have the Eagles number 1. I have Dallas number 2, and I have Giants number 3.
so here's the only thing I would switch up, and I just think you have to do it because until someone passes them, I think it's Eagles 1, um, Giants 2, just because the Eagles didn't play them yet and they have the better record. That's the reason why I'm putting them above them.
True, true.
Vikings 3 and Cowboys 4 because the Vikings still only have 1 loss.
And we play the Vikings in 2 weeks.
And that's the only reason why I have the Vikings there is because they've looked impressive when they've won. And so that's why I have them there. But I mean, I think you can flip flop any of those teams below the Eagles at this point. Until the Eagles lose, it's kind of hard to jump them at this point. And also here's another thing: people are like saying like the Eagles are just fakers, like they played bad teams. You can agree to this, Paul. You don't lead the league in turnover ratio and have a plus 12 turnover ratio, which is I think 7 more than any other team in the NFL, and be a bad team. That's just impossible.
I agree with that. I mean, that's just like people saying, Joe, the Cowboys have the easiest schedule. Well, you can't knock a team like, okay, they played the Buccaneers, they played the Bengals,
It's
they
not your
played the
fault that
Rams.
those teams suck this year.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Joey. Our front half of the schedule, we played some juggernauts out there. Okay, it's not our fault.
Or
It's
teams
not,
we thought they were juggernauts.
right.
No one at this point in
Exactly.
time, no one truly looks like a juggernaut anymore.
Right.
Honestly,
We said we thought they were juggernauts based on last year, 2 Super Bowl teams, in the Super Bowl. We played them both and we beat them both. But then they're saying, well, look who you played. I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't mean anything to us because they were in the Super Bowl last year. They took a step back. Oh, well, we did what we had to do. We beat them with the backup QB, and I don't
that's
care.
why I saw the
It is
Eagles.
what it
Like,
is.
oh, who do the Eagles play? Meanwhile, we played the second best team, technically ranking standings, the second best
Vikings,
team in the
yeah.
NFC and the Vikings,
Mhm.
and we didn't just beat them; we embarrassed them on national TV. Like
Mhm.
it wasn't just a beat. Then we played the Jaguars at the time. Just beat the brakes off the Colts the week before. Not the Colts, the Chargers. Beat the brakes off the Chargers the week before, and
Yeah.
everyone was crowning them
Agree.
the new up and coming young team, the next Bengals, then we beat
Mhm.
them and now they suck again. It's just,
Exactly.
people love to hate on the NFC East because of the notion that this was the weakest division in the NFL.
Hey, well, you know
Pe-
what? You got the top 3 teams in the NFC East, and you got a chance for 3 teams to make the playoffs, just like
yeah,
the NFC West did it, a couple years back. Well, now it's our time. You know what I mean?
I
Now
think
it's
if
our time.
all three of the teams in the NFC, I think with the way the NFL looks this year, I think 4 more wins by each team guarantee the playoff spot.
I think so. I mean, I think nine wins right now in the NFC East could get you in a wild card
Yeah,
spot. I really do.
yeah.
And based
And
on
I
the
hate to
schedule,
say
Joey,
this, but
it's pretty
looking
it's
at the
pretty
Eagles
deemable.
schedule,
That's
looking
what I
at
mean.
the
The
Eagles
Cowboys too.
schedule,
Yeah,
other than the Giants and Cowboys, I don't know if the Eagles lose a game this season.
I think they lose 2, Joey. I was looking at it a couple days ago. I think they lose 2. I think
They
they're
have
gonna.
the Colts now without Ryan.
Yeah, yeah.
They play the
Ellens are
Packers,
starting.
who are
Look,
garbage.
they're trash. They're trash.
They play the Texans, the Steelers, the Commanders.
Hmm.
I don't see a lot of losses coming from there.
I think it's going to be 2 losses. I think you're going to season split with the Cowboys and Giants. I really do.
Yeah, but
I mean,
I think that we spoke about the Cowboys,
and there's
but
a
I
trap
think
game. There's always a trap game out there somewhere,
yeah, but
Joey.
I think at that the Cowboys the second to last game of the season.
Christmas Eve. Hmm.
So I think at that point in time, the Eagles will have such a cushion in the NFC with the two win loss. I don't think they lose up to that point. I think they rest their starters at that point.
I don't think you sit your starters at all. I mean, I don't think you do in a game like that where you can actually that loss, Joey, to the Cowboys could take them out of the playoff contention. You never know. I mean, it goes not without saying
No,
the
what
seeding.
I'm saying is, look at
They'll
the
have it wrapped
Bucks,
up.
who we
Right.
thought were supposed to be good. They're below 500 at this point.
Oh
You
yeah.
look
Yeah.
at you look at. I mean, hell, the
Green Bay,
Falcons are in
Green
first
Green
place
Bay,
at this
Green
point.
Bay sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, who else in the NFL? Even the Rams aren't that good this year.
Exactly. I think what the Seahawks are in almost pretty much a sole possession of first place in the
Yeah,
AFC West right now.
so
Like
what I'm saying is, I think the Eagles have first place locked up by that point, for the simple
it's fair. I
fact
can
that
see that.
every other team around is just not good this year.
I agree. I mean, this year it's a lot of these teams that we call juggernauts. They are not what they are, Joey. I mean,
Do you
honestly,
think
it's
it has,
like
do
it's a
you, let
flip.
me, I know we're getting off topic, Paul, but
Mhm.
and I'll let you go after this. Do you think it has anything to do with what we've been seeing happen a lot more in the past, where teams at the trade deadline are going all in? And I mean, look at the Rams, look at all these teams. They're giving up first and second round picks to get
Yeah,
players to help them win now, but at the end of the season, those players are gone. They still don't have those picks, and you can't replenish that team.
I always said that, Joey. It's like when you do position, you get a position player who's a stud out there, like Christian McCaffrey. We know he's injury prone. You're buying into him with what you gave up for him. But to me, it's always been you're renting a player for 1 year. You're
Yeah,
renting a player. That's what it
I
comes
mean,
down to.
McCaffrey has a long contract, but he gets paid a lot, so they
Right.
could cut ties with him if it doesn't pan out, and then you just
Exactly.
lost 4 potential players who could have been on your team
Hmm.
on rookie deals going forward, and I think that's going to hurt people in the long run. If I'm the Eagles this year, I hope they go smart and they get rental players who cost late round picks, maybe like a Kareem Hunt
Hmm.
with a 6th rounder, or a Robert Quinn with the 5th rounder, something like
I
that.
did.
Not
I
that
did
kind
see
of cost.
rumors about Quinn. I did see that.
Yeah, I saw they were talking to Quinn, Hughes from Texans,
Hmm.
and there's one other player that it was like a bigger name that they were talking to, who's like a kind of a shell of himself at this point.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
you just can't sell the future to win now and expect to be good 3 years in the line.
I agree with that 100%. I mean, you look at speaking of like buying teams, look at the Dodgers, look at the Yankees. I just seen a rumor on ESPN today that the leading candidate for Aaron Judge is the Dodgers.
Dodgers.
Like, really? Ah,
But the difference between that, Paul, is that the Dodgers, Yankees, the MLB has minor leagues, so you can afford to sell the future to get a
true.
player like that because you still have players in the minor leagues. The NFL doesn't have that. If the only chance, you don't have overseas signings where you can get players from
Yeah,
Cuba or
you're right.
Dominican Republic, you don't have that in the NFL. So the only chance you have is 7 picks every
Yeah,
year to
yeah.
replenish your team on rookie deals. And if
And
you
you know
don't,
what? In 50% of those, Joey, like especially your first and 3 rounders, they're hit or miss. You never know. Especially
yeah,
quarterbacks. You never know. You
yeah,
never know. I mean, you look at next year, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Hartman, all these quarterbacks coming out. We don't know
You
who the
know who
best
I'm
one's going to
sold
be.
on the most, Paul, and
Who?
people are the dude from Kentucky who transferred from Penn State.
Levi's.
Yeah, I think he's good.
I love Hartman, even though he's a small quarterback. I love his potential. I really do.
I
Because
mean,
I'm not sold on Stroud or Young. I'm really not, Joey. Really not.
I think yeah, Will Lives.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was at Penn State. He transferred from Penn State
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
because what's the name was horrible at judging talent and kept what's the
Exactly.
name Clifford.
Yeah. We won't even talk about Penn State, but yeah.
How about that backfire? You kept Clifford over him, and now this dude looks like a top 5 overall pick.
Exactly. And Clifford. Oh boy. Yeah. He's the face of Nittany Lions
Mediocre.
football.
He's the face of mediocrity. You know, he's the face.
He definitely is.
If you look up game manager in the dictionary, it's a picture of Clifford. You know, he's not good enough to win you a game, but he's not bad enough to lose you a game. He just kind of keeps you in
I
it.
wonder if he's related to Trent Dilfer. I wonder. Maybe he's in his bloodline somewhere, Joey. I don't know.
The Eagles need we're getting way off topic here, but we need the Raiders to start winning some games
Why do you want the Raiders to win, Joey?
because we have the Saints pick, and right now the Saints
I
pick is
know.
top 5. And here's the thing, Paul: every other team in the top 5 needs a quarterback. The Raiders are the only team in the top 5 that does not need a quarterback. If the Raiders start to win and get out of the top 5, Will Anderson is ours.
You don't want Will Anderson. You don't need a linebacker like that.
Yeah, right.
You don't need a linebacker like Will Anderson.
We don't need
Joey.
a linebacker like that.
You don't need someone like that, Joey.
Could you imagine him on this team with him and Reddick on the outside?
Joey, I don't even want to talk about that right now. Okay, seriously, Joey.
Like he's so versatile. Like if you decided he's your middle linebacker, he reminds me of Ray Lewis. If you want to put him on the outside, he's a Micah Parsons. It's like he's that versatile.
You know the funny thing is when he didn't. He's a junior, isn't he? Or he's a senior this year.
I think he was supposed to come out last year, and I think he stayed in.
Yeah, because he stayed in last year. Because I was like, when we did a draft board, I said, you know what? If Anderson comes out, he's the first linebacker off the board easily. He's better than Nakobe Dean. He's better than Devin Lloyd. Watching this kid play. I mean, when he said he's not declaring for the draft, wow. But you know what? This year, the way he's playing, he is the defense of Alabama. He is the defense of Alabama.
It's interesting to see what he ends up being in the pros because I know he's little.
He might go to a Mike linebacker, Joey.
I think he's a little big. He's a little big to be middle. I think he's.
I think he's going to play like a Mike or like a Jack outside.
He'll look perfect in this Eagles defense. This Vic Fangio defense next year.
Now you got me thinking, how can the Dallas Cowboys move up to get Will Anderson and have him opposite of Parsons?
That'd be wild. But you know the Eagles have him here, right?
What's that?
Vic Fangio, is that his name? Vic Fangio?
Big Fangio, yeah.
He's here right now. He works for the Eagles. He's on the Eagles coaching staff.
Yeah, I know, Joe.
So they already said he's heir apparent because for some reason teams want Gannon as as a head coach, which I don't understand why.
I don't understand either. I really don't.
But we'll pack your bags, Gannon, because we'll take Vic here with these players we have in place. Vic Fangio with these players would
Yeah, you guys are set for the future. I have to admit, 2 first-round picks next year guaranteed. One could be a top 5, top 10 easy pick.
Here's the thing: if you can get Anderson, you keep that pick, move your second pick, get more picks for next year's draft.
And Howie Roseman could pull that shit out of a bag any day.
Yeah,
we already know that.
Yeah.
Must be nice to have a good GM that everybody hated.
Paul, I remember the name now. Remember the name that the Eagles were talking to.
Who?
The Broncos for Chubb.
Oh, the linebacker. I know it's about Bradley Chubb.
Yeah.
Right?
They said if Broncos lose this week, they're open shop for Jeudy and Chubb.
Okay. All right.
So
and all the Cowboys are doing is looking at Elijah Moore. Okay.
They got what's the name today?
Yeah, they got the defensive tackle from the Raiders, but still.
But I was looking at some Raiders.
He's a
Raiders
fans,
move. And they were saying he in the passing games he's next to invisible. They were saying.
That's what somebody said on the group chat.
Strictly run stopper.
Yeah, he's a run stopper. He's a gap runner. Pretty much that's it. But he's not a coverage guy at all. So,
Yeah, he doesn't really rush the quarterback too well.
He's depth for us. That's pretty much it.
But Pro Football Rankings did have him listed as the highest interior. Like if you put him on your roster right now, he's the highest interior defensive lineman ranked on the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll fit in okay because our front four is nasty. You know what I mean? Our front four is
Yeah,
good, but I think we just need a little bit more depth. I don't think he's going to start over Gallimore or Armstrong. No, I don't think
yeah.
so. But
And
he's going to be.
they had him ranked higher. I don't really like to use Pro Football,
Mhm,
PFF, just because sometimes their rankings are a little
yeah,
head scratching. But they did have him ranked higher than any interior lineman on the Cowboys.
it's kind of weird though.
Yeah,
You know,
but
you're looking at differences scheme. You're looking at different lineup and
yeah,
matchups. That's weird to me. You
but
know.
I'm interested to see, like you said, Christmas Eve day. Hopefully the Cowboys D line's healthy, Eagles O line's healthy, so we can see two of the best go against
Yeah,
each
a
other.
lot of people, Joey. I know we'll get leaving in like a minute here, but a lot of people, I got messages saying, you're one of those fans that said, "Oh, we got beat by a backup quarterback." We had our backup quarterback. You'll never hear me say that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
listen, that's what pisses me off. Like, all I
Well,
can say is,
the problem is, Paul, is, and here's the thing is, like, it's not you, but you
mm,
had a lot of Cowboys fans who a
"Oh,
week
I know."
before
Hmm.
were crowning Cooper Rush as the next heir apparent, uh, the next Tom Brady type of thing, where he's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
low draft pick who's going to come the next superstar quarterback. And
Hmm.
then as soon as the Eagles beat him, it's, oh, you beat a backup quarterback. And that's what pisses a lot of them off is like, you can't one
Oh,
week
yeah.
say he's the next big thing into quarterback controversy in
Hmm.
Dallas, and then week before. I mean, we talked about it before. Like, I said, is there a quarterback controversy? And you said absolutely not. Like, you know what I mean? You
Hmm.
even said it flat up. When Dak's ready to come back, it's Dak's team.
Hmm.
We have some people who are saying, oh, he's taking over Dak's position. And then as soon as the
No,
Eagles
no.
beat him, oh, you beat a backup.
No, my thing is like, okay, Dak is the quarterback. He's the franchise quarterback. When he's ready, he's going to come back. He's going to play. Win, lose, or draw, he's going to play. Number one. I give Cooper Rush all the credit, accommodations out there. Yeah, he took us to 4-1. You know what I mean? He did his job. But to me, he didn't win the games, Joey. The defense won the games
Yeah.
for him. It was like, to me, like I always use that word. I go back to Trent Dilfer. He had the best defense in the NFL. Ray Lewis, all of the nasty defense. The defense won the championship for him. All he did was manage the game.
He didn't lose
Don't
the game.
exactly. He played
He
not
did
to
the
lose the
exact
game.
opposite of what Jimmy G did last year in the NFC
Exactly.
Championship
But
game.
it was exposed last week. What happened? He didn't turn the ball over in his first 4 wins, Joey. When he played the Eagles, 2 turnovers cost them the game. Well, 3 turnovers.
Three
Two in
picks.
his. It was 3 picks, but 2 were bad balls. Like he just floated the ball, like
Yeah,
bad, really bad
that
picks.
last pick to end the game practically to Garner.
Yeah, I mean, it was 2 bad
There was
picks. I was
no one
watching it.
even
Right.
near him.
The one pick was legit. I give that pick, to the Eagles, but the other two, they're like covered sack, bad balls. So
Yeah.
to me, he managed the game. He did what he had to do. Now our quarterback's back. He looked like shit in the first half, only putting up basically 7 points. But Dak is back, and I'm glad where we are. I don't care what people say, and you'll never hear me say, "Oh, the Eagles got lucky. You played Cooper Rush." No, you beat a team, man. Next man up. You stepped up. You beat
Yeah.
him. You game plan. The hell with it. You're 6-0. I give you
Because
kudos.
here's
Not a
the
big
thing,
deal.
no one's in the NFL just because, you know what I mean? You have to have talent to stick in the NFL.
Right,
All these
right.
people who don't make it. So backup or not, you got to be at least a little bit good to make it in the NFL,
Mhm.
period.
Joe, you ever watch those things on YouTube where they do like the like a sideline talk? You ever see those? Where they
No.
go on YouTube, and I think the Eagles have them too. Dallas has one every week. I was just watching it earlier today. It usually comes out on Tuesday nights when they play it. I was watching it, and it's called the sideline talk, where they're all the players like they have the boom mic, they can listen to
Oh,
them.
they're like mic'd up and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, they don't have the mic on him, but it's like a boom mic behind
Yeah.
him. And in the fourth quarter, I give respect to Dak, man, because he said something on there. He goes like this. He's sitting next to Cooper Rush when they're up, like, I think it was 17-6 with like, 3, 4, like 5 minutes to go. And he's sitting next to Cooper Rush. He's like, "Hey, boy, you want to go eat?" And Cooper just looks at him. He's like, "Nah, you deserve it. You play." He's like, "Brother, you got us here. Go play." And then he's like, "No, I'm good." I was like, "Holy shit. Okay, I love that. Go eat."
Yeah.
I love the respect that these two players have with each other because Cooper Rush knows his role. He's a backup
Yeah.
quarterback. He got them to where they are. He did his job. Now it's time to, hand the keys over to the main man. Let him get in there. But if he goes down, Coop, it's your team. Go back and do what you
Yeah.
have to do.
Yeah, it's
That's
just
all I care.
I think in the NFL especially, I mean, not just Cowboys fans, not just Eagles fans,
Mhm.
teams are so ready to just like throw the people to the ground, like throw them in
Yeah.
the trash. Look at last night in New England.
Right, right.
Last year they're calling Mac Jones the heir apparent to Tom Brady.
And then
Mac
last night it was
Jones
that
misses a
mania.
couple games. Last night
Yeah.
they're booing Mac Jones to call for Zappy, and
Yeah.
that dude looked like shit.
It's so funny. It's like It's like Mac is the man, and he looks like shit, and then Zappy comes in. It's Zap Mania. I even put down a group chat. Zap Mania. His first drive, 4 for 4, touchdown, looks
Yeah.
great, and then all of a sudden he looks like shit, and it's like we
When
want
the
Mac
game
Jones again.
buckled
Like,
down and the game started to matter, he
right.
he
He
disappeared.
folded. He folded. Right. And it's like we want Mac back. Like, okay, make up your damn mind. Stay with your
If I'm
quarterback. Come on.
Indy, I'm calling if I'm Indianapolis, I'm calling Patriots immediately.
You think so?
Like, hey, what do you want from Mac Jones?
Well, I don't think they'll give him up.
At
First
that
round pick,
point,
no way. First round pick, no way.
I think it's for relationship ruin at that point, Paul.
I don't know.
Like, how do you come back? How do you come back from that? How do you come back from that? The dude just came back from injury.
But Joe,
He was healthy.
Belichick. He's going to He's going to keep that. Look at Garoppolo. How long he kept Garoppolo under the blanket. You know what I mean? He's going to keep a quarterback like that, and he's got 2 quarterbacks. Zappy, his stats. I mean, his college stats. What, 60 TDs last year? 60 TDs in 1 year.
I'm just saying, like, from a mental standpoint, how does
I understand.
come back from that?
I don't think he's a Carson Wentz, Joey. I don't think he's like that. I think
no, but it's pretty messed up. This dude worked his ass to get back, and then the fans even the fans were turning on. They were booing him.
Oh, I know. I couldn't believe that. I had to turn it all the way up, and I'm like, holy shit, they're really booing him, dude. Damn.
But all right, well, I'll let you go. Right. We went way over.
Yeah, we did. All right, listen, Joey. We'll be back next week. Listen, give my congratulations to Maddie and Chris, for this Saturday. Congratulations. Chris Wood out there is getting married. And Joey, hope everything's going good with you. Your family's going good. So we will be back next Tuesday night at 10 p.m., and we'll be talking maybe about the Lomachenko fight. Maybe there's an upset. We don't know. And, of course, we'll be diving into 281. So for myself, Paul Spencer, Joey Woods, we'll see you next Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in. Fight Club 215. We'll see you next week.